The Poseleatikos Mountains is a mountain range that stretches across the entirety of the Altic Peninsula on the eastern coast of the Elysian continent. The mountain range is relatively low-lying, with the tallest mountain, Mount Paniakos, only soaring to a height of about 3,100 meters, and with an average elevation of only about 500 meters above sea level. Despite the mountains' rather unextreme appearance, the sheer expanse of the mountain range and the tight-knit valleys that form at many parts has always kept the inhabitants of the Altic Peninsula safe, as well as posing a challenge for any power bold enough which seeks to encroach upon the land and subjugate its people. As a result of this, the Altic people, for which the peninsula was named after, were able to prosper in relative isolation from the rest of the world. As agriculture became widespread in the region, the Altics started to establish more permanent settlements, from which the previously tribal people would establish more firm control over land, and with this came the first city-states of the peninsula. The Altics would quickly start trading with outsiders via the vast coastlines that surround the peninsula. As a result, the cities grew prosperous, and although perhaps not matching their contemporaries in terms of size and power, the Altic cities certainly matched them in sheer beauty, as the artful and skillful Altics made sure that every temple and palace in every city were architectural masterpieces to behold. Hello good people, and welcome back to another video. Now, I haven't uploaded in a while, and that's for various reasons. Prime amongst which is that I literally can't get anything done in every sense of the word, and I've just been procrastinating. But this is about the fourth time I've tried to record an episode, but it's always been something else that has rendered the recording process and the episode just pointless, like the fact that one time my recording corrupted, and the other time I accidentally deleted the files and I couldn't retrieve them, and for the last time I accidentally rendered over my other footage, so it literally wasn't usable. So that's why it has taken me months to make a video, and this is not the first series I've tried to record, but as I said previously, one of those the other series that I tried to record, which was more Celtic inspired instead of Greek, all of that just corrupted. But anyway, welcome to a new episode of this mini-series that I'm working on, in which I detail the building and the history, or the short history, of this Anatolian-inspired city, ancient Anatolian-inspired city, called Korkybaria. Now, I've actually wanted to work on a series like this for a really long time, and I've just gotten around to it, or not just got around to it, as I mentioned that other series I was working on. It was all supposed to be set in the same universe. It's kind of a fantasy world I've been working on for quite a while. I've even made a wiki that I might link in the video description if I feel like it, where I just detail the history of a few events in this alternate world. But anyway, I feel like I'm starting to blabber on for a bit, so I'll return to you in a short while. Enjoy the first time lapse. See ya. Hello, I'm back here, and as you can see here, I'm working on some sort of... Well, this building took me a really long time. This is another reason why this actually took me a really long time, because I didn't know why I decided to do it, but I just decided to go crazy on PO, procedural objects. And once you get the ball rolling with procedural objects, you can't stop it. Like, every place, at least in an area you're creating, has to be just as PO focused, PO heavy, or else it just look really weird, really bloody weird. So yeah, this one neighborhood has taken me a long time to create, and it's not even finished yet. I still have some detailing to do, although I actually went kinda light on the detailing, which I think is for the best, because otherwise I wouldn't have otherwise this video wouldn't have come out at least for another half year. Well, here I'm working on 2 mansions, or perhaps there are some sort of clubhouses. These buildings probably didn't exist in Greece, in ancient Greece. I mean, they definitely did, these kinds of large meeting buildings, although in the way I'm thinking about it, they didn't exist. But yeah, I want this to be something, you know, kinda unique to my build, while still drawing inspiration from actual places and stuff. And I think that these buildings that I built up around the place, they ended up looking really good. I mean, that's inevitable when you use this much PO. Well, anyway, the inspiration I got for this city was actually from the ancient Psidian Anatolian city of Termessos, which is a city built on top of a mountain plateau, mountain flat, and so I was inspired to do something similar. I mean, the map that I created, this is a custom-made map, it was based on a height map of the area where the ancient city stood. And it's such a fascinating place, really. I remember I spent like a whole day just researching about that place, because it's so fascinating how they built this city on top of a mountain, you know, just spectacular views, and yet nobody really knows about this place. Also, the place was sieged down by Alexander the Great, although he actually failed to capture the city. That's how impregnable it was because of its mountain terrain, and that's really impressive of a city to be able to withstand the siege of a guy like Alexander, a dude who managed to conquer the largest empire the world had ever seen. And if I'm correct, the Persian Empire was actually the largest empire in history in terms of population percentages. By that I mean the total percentage of the world population in one state. I think the Persian Empire was the biggest in that regard, and yeah, so, you know, the Termessians, they were lucky with that kind of terrain. Well, before I go on a nerdy talk about Termessos and Psidia in general, because that's a really fascinating area, I'll just let you enjoy. See ya. Well, hello again. There isn't that much left of the time-lapse, now I'm just kind of filling in the spaces. Here I built a temple. I didn't think it turned out too well. I think I could add a few more buildings. Maybe I should add some shrubbery or some small shrines next to it. Because, well, I feel like it's... or maybe it would fit, I don't know, but I just don't really... I don't really think it turned out as I envisioned, but it's still pretty decent, I think. And the small building, the... what's the word? The basilica that I built behind, or the arcade, however you want to call it. God, what do the Greeks call it? God, I forgot. I will search it up. Greek Well, yeah, a stoa. Yeah, that's the word. Yeah, this is... no. I have no script, so I'm just winging it. Yeah, I'm also building the stoa. I think the stoa buildings are really easy to make because you could literally just take any asset and then that arch building, I don't know what you'd call it, and just create a really nice looking stoa. And I created a few throughout my city so far, and yeah, it's fantastic. Well, I really don't know what else to say, and maybe I'll explain a bit more about my inspirations and some lore in the next video. But so far, I hope you enjoyed the video, and yeah, have a good day and enjoy the rest of the time lapse. See ya.